Alright. Hey guys. So I apologize for the audio in the last video. Hopefully this one is a little bit better. My long story short, the device that I'm using to record myself has been through hell and back. I've replaced the screen on it like 4 times now. It's had like 3 different ribbon cables inside. And it's just a little beat up, so I do apologize. Sometimes the audio cuts out on one channel because of the ribbon cable. I ordered some new ones, and I will also have a new camera coming soon. It'll be like a head-mounted camera, so I'll kind of do like a Zeos style or like Hawaii Bad Boy, kind of have videos like that where you can see the whole setup. You can't see me still yet, but at least you can see more of my setup. And then I also wanted to get like a microscope camera, that kind of stuff. So anyway, today before me I have the KZ PR1 PRO. I'm going to do a brief little review of it. Just wanted to show it off to you guys, kind of talk about it a little bit. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm really super busy, so I'm just trying to like get everything out of the way. This won't be a very long video because I also have another review coming after this. So I will pause for a second and grab a couple things, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, I'm back. How's it going? I hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you're excited for the weekend like I am. Not, I'm just kidding. The weekend sucked for me. It's like the busiest time for me. It gets super slammed. So anyway, before I get started, I just wanted to show off a little thing I finished. I've been working on these for quite a while. They are some ear molds for a buddy of mine. It's custom CIEM, like custom made IEMs. They're not IEMs. These are just the molds. So I just finished them. Let me. I've been working on them for a while now, but they are basically just resin and lacquer. No connectors or nothing yet. This is basically, he went to the audiologist. They took a map of his ears, and then he sent me the physical molds, and he also sent me the 3D printed file. And basically what I did is I printed out the file. I took his molds, and then I just measured the print that came out of my printer, and then I compared it to the molds that he sent me to make sure the size was the same. It was, for the most part. The prints were just a teeny, like ever so slightly larger, like a fraction of a millimeter. So I sanded the hell out of them. I cut off all the excess. There's a whole bunch of excess that I had to cut off, and then I basically built everything from like here up from scratch. And then I just kind of made this little design here, just this little shape. And yeah, so turned them into ear molds, and then I had to make sure that they were kind of the same length and everything. Make sure they're nice and smooth, nice and shiny. Made sure the ear hooks aren't too big because they like came out like over to here. And there was a whole bunch of stuff I had to do. So these looked way different before. But anyway, just wanted to show them to you guys. Thought they were kind of cool. They're hollow. There's nothing inside them, but they are 3D printed resin and some lacquer that I put on. And if you guys are curious what lacquer I'm using, I was using the good stuff. What do you call it? Where is it at? The optoplastic kind of stuff. I forget the name of the company. But anyway, I ran out, so I'm using some nail polish, and this stuff actually works really well, but you have to have a very particular UV light. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the review. So, everybody that knows, recently KZ started getting into the planar game, and they released their PLA-13. It wasn't very well received. People didn't like the tuning. It had that typical KZ fun style tuning, where the bass was just way too loud, too much treble, I guess. The bass just swamped out the treble, so people weren't really a big fan of it. So then they said, okay, well, we'll make two different versions. So then they made the PR1, and then the PR1 Hi-Fi, which was just, I guess, a more refined tuning. Somebody was telling me that the PR1 has less treble than the PR1 Hi-Fi, but I don't know. Anyway, they're tuned a little bit differently. So KZ sent me the PR1 Hi-Fi. I reviewed it. Pretty well for the most part. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't anything like overly exciting. Its major flaw was the tuning. Again, it had way too much bass, too much treble, too much like kind of like lower treble a little bit. The planar timbre was just too much. So it just, I don't know. It was like basically if KZ were to take a planar and then make a KZ planar. Okay. So anyway, for anybody that doesn't know, I personally don't have any affiliation with KZ. I'm not a KZ shill. I'm not a representative for KZ. They like to send me stuff because they like my opinion. They like how I tear stuff apart. I do talk to the representatives at KZ, and I guess they like me because they keep sending me a bunch of stuff, even after I've told them in the past, like, don't. I'm good for now. They're like, no, we'll send you this thing. Okay, whatever. So anyway, so everything that I say is my own thoughts. They are my own thoughts. I have no ties to KZ. I don't care, if the product is good or if the product is bad. Typically, if a product is bad, I won't talk about it just because I don't feel compelled to put my time and energy into talking about something that I don't like. Like, I'm not going to talk about it if it's bad. Now, if it's something where, like, it's getting hyped up or whatever, and I think it's bad, like, I'm going to tell people so they don't waste their money on it, because I don't want to see other people waste their money on something that they're not going to like. But otherwise, if it's something that I personally don't like, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'll give it to somebody else. If they want to review it, they can review it. But anyway, so the PR1 Hi-Fi, it's not a bad IM by any means, but it wasn't great. So, enters the PR1 Pro. So KZ, as of recently, I won't, you guys already saw my video on the drama and all that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go into my playlist and look at the KZ drama video. I talk about everything that I have been through with taking apart their IMs, doing testing and all that. And anyway, other than one single IM, which just so happened to be the DQ6 and the DQ6S, I have never had any issues with any of their IMs except for some design issues, and that's basically it. I can't even say they're build quality issues because they were build quality issues that centered around a poor design. Okay? And that was really kind of like relatively few. Like, it wasn't very many IMs. But anyway, they took that stuff to heart. They really did. And they said, okay, well, we're going to make better products. We're going to make different products. Because they just wanted to kind of let the drama die down a little bit. So they started making a lot more dynamic IMs, and then they decided, well, planar is popular, so we'll get into planar. So they started doing that. Anyway, long story short, recently they started being really receptive to the community, and they are taking people's feedback, and they are revamping their products. I want to say it started with the AS16. I could be wrong. What was it? AS16? Hold on. Where are you at? I'm trying to find the box. I have too many boxes. Where are you? Anyway, well, started with the AS16, and then they made the AS16 Pro. Because there was a little issue with it. You had to add a resistor and like get a little adapter to make them sound good. Like, they didn't sound bad beforehand, but they sounded much better with this little adapter. So KZ was like, okay, sure, fix it, make it better. And so anyway, they're doing the same thing with their planars. So we have been through 3 previous iterations: the PLA13, the PR1, and the PR1 Hi-Fi. So technically, this is the 4th iteration, the 3rd in the PR1 series, but this is the 4th iteration of their planar IMs. To get a little bit into the unboxing, it's the same typical KZ experience. You know, white box, tips and cable are on the inside. There's no bag or nothing, no carrying pouch. Simple white box. We'll just read through on the back here. Same frequency response, 20 to 40 kilohertz, 16 ohm impedance, 100 ohm sensitivity, plus minus 3 dB per milliwatt at 1 kilohertz. That's basically it. And then it's got their website and some other stuff. Recyclable box. So for the PR1 Pro, here are the IMs themselves. Okay, they're actually really nice looking. They always send me black for some reason, and I don't like black because I can't see inside it. Like they sent me the HM20, which these are really good IMs too, but they're fun sounding IMs, but they're well performing. But anyway, they sent me these and they're black. I can't see anything. I can't see inside them. Let me see, where is... Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry. Boom. Look at that. Let's see. I like to take shit apart. There we go. Look at that. So this is the guts of the HM20. It's got the little 7mm driver in there. Anyway, so yeah, finally they sent me a clear IM, and I was like, oh, nice. I was like, heck yeah, dude. So these are like really nice looking. The face plates are the same as the other ones. These are, instead of matte, they're, because I believe the other ones were matte finished. These are like a shiny metallic finish. Glossy, I should say. But anyway, the construction is exactly the same to all the previous IMs. It's a plastic shell with a metal faceplate. Same connectors as all the other KZ IMs. Upgraded cable. Cable's nicer quality. It's metal. It's got a metal sleeve there. Plastic strain relief, which does nothing, but you know, looks nice. And then it's got no chin cinch, but it does have a metal look or metal finish to the divider. And anyway, so the IMs themselves, let's see, let's get some light in here a little bit better. So you can see the little planar drivers in there. Let's zoom in. Take a look inside there. So there they are. You can see them. They look really cool. Yeah, you can see the magnet structure and all that. And if you look at them close enough, you can actually start seeing the diaphragm, and you can see the etching on the diaphragm. You see the little dampener there. See if I can focus in on this a little better. So you see the dampener there, the mesh screen. There is a tuning filter or dampener behind there. You can see the side of the driver. There's a little PCB in there. You can see the magnet structure. So the magnet structure on these are 7 magnets per side, 14 magnets altogether. The planar itself, I believe, is only single-sided. It's not a dual-sided planar, even though the magnets are dual-sided. The etching is only on one side. I don't think that matters. I don't think companies even bring that up. The diameter is 13.2 millimeters, and yeah, so that's the build. Nice build quality. There we go. Nice build quality. Nice design. It's cool to look at on the inside. They're really comfortable. Same shape as most KZ IMs. So no complaints there. They're beautiful. And cable, like I said, the cable is good quality. It's an upgraded cable. Still, still a little thin. But for an $80 pair of IMs, I mean, it's not bad. It's a decent cable. It lays flat for the most part. It's nice and supple. It's smooth, soft. It's not hard or anything. So let me just show you guys this real quick. So this is the motor structure, or the magnet structure of the IEMs. Okay. So you see the two little pogo pins there, and then you see the 7 magnets. So there's 2 of those, and then let me grab this out. Alright. So this is my, let me just zoom out a little bit. This is my box of diaphragms. So if you guys don't know, I like to take the drivers apart and analyze the diaphragms. If you didn't see my last video, I kind of showed this off a little bit. So this right here is the diaphragm inside the KZ planars. Now this is I believe a custom built driver for KZ. Other companies don't use this size, this 13.2 millimeter. They're all like 14.5 or 14.2 or 14.XX. This is the only 13 millimeter that I know of. But yeah, so anyway, so that's that. Zoom out. Alright. Okay, so what do you get inside? You get foam tips this time, decent quality. You get 3 sizes, so you get large, medium, and small. And then you get the cable and the IMs. Very basic setup, very basic presentation. Now I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. I do not own the Dioko. I don't own the Timeless. I don't own the S12. I've never heard the Timeless, the Dioko, the S12. I've never heard the Rapco Hooked X. I'm not very big into planars. I like hybrids and I like dynamics. I'm not real big into planars. I have nothing against planars. It's just not really my thing. But I do enjoy the sound from time to time. So what was I gonna say? So with that being said, I don't listen to many planars. So I can't, unfortunately I don't have a reference point. Like I can't really compare these to much. Now as far as planars that I have heard, I've heard the P1, I've heard the P2, I've heard the P2 Plus, I've heard the P1 Pro, or I'm sorry, the P1 Max, I've heard the P10, I've heard, gosh, what else? I've heard a prototype that I'm not allowed to talk about. And there's another one that I'm missing. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, so I have heard a few planars. I'm not new to planar. Like I've heard a few of them, but I'm not, you know, as far as recent releases, I can't compare this to much. So what I will say is, as far as these go and the price for $80, I can't tell you how they compare to the Dioko. So everything that I'm going to say, just know that that is my personal experience, okay? I do not know how these compare to other sets. I know how they sound, I know what I think of them, I know how much I like them, but I don't know how they compare to anything else, except for what I have already heard. And like I said, the only thing that I can really compare them to would be the P1 Max, and these blow the ever-living daylights out of the P1 Max. P1 Max doesn't hold a candle to these. So, that being said, how do they sound? They sound fucking amazing. They sound really good. Like, really, really good. KZ, props to you guys. You guys hit it out of the ballpark. Like, you did a really good job. Yeah, it took a couple tries, but holy cow, guys. These things sound awesome. I have been listening to them for the last 2 or 3 hours now, and I could not get them out of my ears. Everything sounded amazing. I just did like a written review. I can't really call it a review. It was like impressions, more or less. It was still pretty longly worded, but yeah, oh man, they freaking sound awesome. I couldn't even do the usually I do like listening impressions, and I'll go over a few tracks and I'll kind of describe what I'm hearing as the track is playing, which only gives me like 5 minutes to write something while I'm listening to it. So it's only a couple sentences, few sentences or whatever. But yeah, I couldn't even do that just because everything sounded so good. Like, it just sounds amazing. It sounds good. The bass is tight. It's fast. It's responsive. It's dynamic. The mids are rich and vibrant. The tonality is good. The treble is fucking like, it's like laser beams. Like, it's like if you were to stick your head in the microwave, turn the microwave on, like, it would rattle your brain, and that's exactly what these do. Resolution is up there with the absolute best. For instance, if I were to compare it to my Anole VX, like, these things are right up there in terms of resolution. The only thing I will say is kind of a drawback. It's not even a drawback. It's just... It's the planar sound. It's the planar timbre. It's the little diaphragm moving back and forth. I'm just not a big fan of the timbre. It can be, for anybody that hasn't heard of planar before, imagine, I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so for people who are musicians or people who are like audio engineers, I'm going to talk to you guys first, and then I'm going to explain this to like the layman. You ever use like a bit cruncher, or like you ever play with bit depth when you're listening to a recording, or like you have a bit smasher plugin or whatever? Especially you guys that do like work with synths and stuff, all about like bit crunching and like bit smashing and changing bit depth and all that. Basically, this would be like if you were to take a recording and you were to crank down the bit depth and go down to like 8 or 4 or something like that instead of 16-bit. That's basically what they sound like. There's like a little bit of crunchiness. I can't really say it. It's like chunky kind of sounding. Like the timbre is kind of like slappy. It's got like a, I don't know, like this is the one thing I've been struggling with over the last few weeks, is trying to describe what I'm hearing, and that has been a little bit of a problem. So basically they're like very tactile sounding, like if you were to tap on paper, something like that, like it's very, very fast attack and very fast decay, and the vocals and strings and stuff like that, there's an added layer of grain to it. But yeah, so that is basically the planar sound. The planar sound has like a graininess to it. It's got a texture to the sound that you can hear, and it's in all recordings. It's in everything you listen to. As soon as you put on a set of planars, you're going to hear it, especially if you're going from like a dynamic set or like a hybrid set. You're going to really hear it, and it might be kind of off-putting at first, but I promise you, if you listen to it for a little while, you'll get into it, and the more you listen to it, the more you'll like it. Now, the thing with these is even with that planar kind of sound, that planar timbre, they still have like super high resolution, like super high detail in the highs, like in the strings, in vocals, in the S's, the P's, the plosives, snare hits, cymbals, rides, whatever. Like the micro detail is there, like it's extreme. You can hear everything. As far as the the stage goes and like the imaging, first off, the separation is really good. The layering is really good too. I can't really tell you which one's weaker than the other, but they're both really good. So this is excuse me, this is what I put for my rating. So my overall rating, I gave them, and this is based off the $80 price. Now, probably should have rated this a little bit higher, but the only reason why I removed points was for the tuning, because there is one little gripe with the tuning, and because I don't know how well the Dioko performs. So, and the Dioko is only like $10 more, $20 more. I don't know, it might be more. It might be like $30 more. But I know it's close. It's not too far off. So, the overall rating, I gave it an 85 out of 100. So, like, almost there. I was almost going to give it a 90 out of 100, but just the treble, I had to knock 5 points off. The overall tuning signature, I gave it 8 out of 10. Bass quality, 8 out of 10. Mid-range, 9 out of 10. Treble quality, 9.5 out of 10. Tonality, 7 out of 10. The only reason why I did that is because on planars, the tone is never going to be as pure as listening to like a dynamic driver. And that is because of the attack and the decay. There are some instruments, usually in the lower mid region to like mid-range, where planars are just too fast. And it's not just the timbre, but it's also the tone. They can't carry the tone because they're too fast. They overcorrect, and it's almost like obviously they don't double in frequency, but because the decay is so fast, the tone doesn't ring out as long as it should. So, they're still really, really good sounding, tonally. Like, they still sound sweet, they still sound vibrant, they're still energetic, you know, they're engaging, they're fun, but I just gave them a little nick in the tonality department just because they're not as good as like a dynamic driver. And then the timbre, I gave them a 6 out of 10, same story because they're planar. Let's see, the stage depth, I gave them 8 out of 10. Stage width, 7.5 out of 10. Stage height, 7 out of 10. They are really high, but they're like mostly height. Like, there's not, I don't know how to explain it. They don't fill the whole range. It's like you get a lot of stuff up top, and then you get kind of stuff in the middle and kind of stuff down low. But it's all mostly like top end as far as the height goes. And then the separation, like I said, 9 out of 10. Layering is 9 out of 10. They just stellar. I would say the separation is probably better than the layering, but they're still all really good. Dynamics, I gave my 7.5 out of 10, and that's just because they're all attack, no decay, so it's just all speed, really, really fast. They still got plenty of punch, plenty of slam, plenty of impact. You know, they're very tactile, but they're just not. They're not as full as far as like a dynamic driver goes. They're not as how would I say it? They're just the decay is not there. They just don't decay at the same rate. So I can't give the dynamics a better score. The resolution, I gave it a 9 out of 10. The only reason why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because that is a perfect rating, and I don't know if there's anything out there that has better resolution. But I will tell you, for $80, out of everything that I've heard, these blow the water out of everything. As far as the pros go, same stuff as the ratings. You know, fantastic resolution, great treble response, great extension, good mid-range performance, good sub-bass performance, good mid-bass performance. They're a little more mid-bassy than they are sub-bassy, but they're pretty well balanced. Like, it's pretty good. And you'll look at the graph. When you look at the graph, it shows more sub bass than it is mid bass. But the problem is I don't know how to explain it, but the way your ears hear sound, you're more deaf when it comes to lower frequencies than there are higher frequencies. That's why you always see a slope starting from the sub bass and then moving down into the mid bass. There's like a glide. Everybody calls it the glide. That's basically because your ears hear better as you move up the frequency range. Things become perceivably louder as you move up the frequency range, until you get to a certain point, and then it kind of tapers off again. But when it comes to sub bass, that's like one of the areas where your ears are the most deaf. So you need a little boost, a little kick. That's why people like subwoofers and stuff, is because they want to hear more of the bass. You can't really hear it because your ears were created, or evolved to not really hear that as much as other frequencies. So good quality cable, nice ear tips, although they only come with foam. I do recommend using the foam. I've heard some people say you can use the eHorn Pro tips. I heard that those help a little bit, but yeah, foam. The KZ knows what they're doing when they include these accessories. They could have put in like a copper cable, but the silver cables are usually a little more expensive, so I think that's why they did that. It just looks more premium. But they actually could have put a copper cable in there, and that would have been good. Let's see. So as far as the cons go, there really aren't many. The design is recycled. It's the same thing. So basically, the reason why I listed that as a con is because it's going to confuse people. I already know people are going to be like, oh man, I got the PR1 and I didn't like it. And then someone's going to say, wait, well, I had the PR1 and I loved it. And somebody else is going to say, well, my PR1 had too much mid bass. And then they're going to get into this debate, and then someone's going to say, oh, well, I mean, I really like the PR1 Pro. And they're going to be like, oh no, I was talking about the PR1. And then somebody else is going to say, oh, I was talking about the PR1 Hi-Fi. Oh, okay, So that's a little frustrating, but it is what it is. And there's also another reason for it too, but I won't get into it. That's like stupid business stuff. Lack of accessories, tips and stuff, especially when compared to Dioko. So like I said, Dioko is in like the $100 range. I want to say they're like $110. I could be wrong. I need to look up that price. But anyway, all you see here is what you get. So you get the 3 tips, you get the cable, and you get the earphones. Nothing fancy, but then again, that's pretty much all you need. Let's see. So another con would be bright upper treble. It can be fatiguing to some people. So the treble on this set is really, really bright. It's not bad quality treble by any means. Don't. When people hear like, oh, these are bright, they have a lot of treble, the first thing they think of is, oh, are they harsh? Oh, is it like bad sounding? Like, is it like lower treble? No, these are all air. These have more air than the Himalayas. Okay, they have a crap ton of air. The treble quality is extremely good, extremely clean, extremely crisp, extremely detailed. It is really, really good treble, but there is a lot of it. And when I say a lot, there is a lot. Like, these have a lot of air, which I already know is going to be fatiguing for some people. So for me personally, it gets fatiguing after like maybe an hour of listening. But then again, it's still really not that bad, and I can still listen for longer periods. But I start to notice, like, my body's just kind of like, okay, like, maybe I should switch to something else, just because that the treble, is pretty loud. And it also depends on the track. Some tracks, like, there was a couple tracks that I was playing where I was like, oh my god, this is like all treble. Like, it's just like I said, it's like laser beams, or like putting your head in a microwave. Just rattles your brain. But I am a treble addict, and I like really good treble, and this is really good treble, and it goes all the way to the top. I mean, I was hearing stuff that I do not hear from other IMs. I don't hear this sort of treble from like, you know, electrostatic or EST IMs. A lot of this treble is stuff that you really don't hear often. And when you do hear it, it's in like kilobuck IMs. So to have it in something that is only $80 is honestly a kind of a miracle. Let's see. But like I said, there is a lot. Eventually I'll come up with a little thing, a little mod, if somebody wants to mod them and kind of cut down on the treble a little bit. Basically, it's just going to consist of putting a, let's see if I can find it real quick. So it's just going to consist of putting a little piece of foam. Let me see. Come on. So just a little piece of foam, but I'm not sure the density of foam yet that I should use. I have a few different densities. So you can see there I got like a few different kinds sitting there. And then I also have another container that has some more foam sitting in it. So yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how far to go with it, but I will eventually make a little mod and mod them so the treble's a little bit less. But one of the things with this set, so if you guys are excited by what you hear and you're like, oh dang, that sounds really good, like I should check those out, you can always, like I said, you can always swap out the cable. You can try the Pro horn tips, and you can also change out the, not the ear tips, what was the other thing too? The cable, oh, source. You can use like a warmer source. You don't have to use something that is as bright. My Q-Delix 5K is very neutral, kind of neutral bright, so that adds to it. But if I were to use my TK2, they would sound much better on my TK2. So, so source definitely matters. And then obviously if you're using them on your phone or whatever, you know, it's going to change it. Let's see. Yeah, so basically that's pretty much my only con, other than the design and the accessories, would just be the timbre could be a little bit fatiguing to some people. And then the tuning, the treble area could use a little bit of adjustment. Could just go down just a little bit. So who is this IM for? Sorry. I mean, anybody who does not already own a pair of planar IMs, like, and I mean everybody, anybody, if you do not own a pair of planar IMs already, you like should really jump on these. Honestly, you should have jumped on these, and I apologize because I should have got this review out sooner. But when these were on sale for $40, I will leave a link in the description. But if you look on AliExpress, I think you can get them for like $10 cheaper. It just depends. It depends on the seller. But yeah, when these were $40, holy crap! Like these were a steal at $40. I mean, anybody and their grandma should buy these at $40, but because they're $80 now, if you don't already own a pair of planars, I would very highly recommend that you use that. These be your first set. Do not get confused. Make sure that you look on the box and it says PR1 Pro. Do not get the PR1 Hi-Fi or the PR1 or the PLA13. It needs to say PR1 Pro on the box. It has to, because those sets don't hold a candle to these. Let's see, a couple other things. If you already own the S12 or the Timeless or the Dioko or the Raptco or you know, any of those, I can't, unfortunately, I can't tell you if these would be an upgrade. I can't tell you if they'd be a side grade. I can tell you, compared to my my P1 Max, These are way better. Way better. They're more engaging. The resolution is better. They're just overall they're better. The only thing, just to come back around to this one more time, is the treble. So they do have more treble, and the treble is very much more resolving than the P1 Max. So that may be an issue for some people. It may be fatiguing over time. But yeah, the PR1 Pro is a killer set. Even for $80. This is, I mean, I'll say it right now, and I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice, but the PR1 Pro is KZ's best earphone to date. Like, in years past, like, you would be hard-pressed to find a pair that sounded this good for less than, like, $2,000. Like, just a matter of, like, 2 or 3 years ago. You know, or like $1,000. Like, these give my Anole VX a run for their money. Like, they really do. Now, granted, the timbre is completely different, okay? They don't sound the same. The tuning's a little bit different. But as far as resolution goes, and like the imaging and the layering, like, they're getting really close. And the Anole VX is still like, even on sale, it's like a $1,600 IM, okay? And like, if I really want to hear the details, I would probably actually choose this over the Null VX. And the only reason why I say that is because they have pressure issues, and the imaging suffers because of it. And these breathe, and they don't have issues like that. So, anyway, let's see, is there anything else I should add? Eventually, I'd like to do like live streams of this, so I can like take your questions and like talk to you guys as I go along. But I'll get there eventually. You know, I'll keep pumping out videos. We'll keep doing this. I'll keep riding this train. You know, as long as you guys like seeing what I'm putting out there, then I'm gonna keep on doing it. The next video that I'm gonna put up here, which I'm gonna take a cough drop and then I'm gonna get started on it. Is going to be a double review, and I'm going to do the HM20, and then I'm going to do the Hexa. So I'll do the HM20 and Hexa mashup. Okay, so one last thing. So people might ask, you know, oh, are they hard to drive? Not really. No, their sensitivity is 100 dB. Okay, it's not the best, but it's not bad. I've seen a lot of like hybrid IMs that were like 93, 96 dB per milliwatt. These are 100. So you should have no problems driving them from your phone. They're not going to be quite as loud as some other IMs. You know, the ones that are like 105 dB or 116 dB sensitivity. Like, you know, they will require a little bit of juice, but you can power them off of your phone. Do I recommend that? No. Obviously, I recommend, you know, at least at minimum, get a dongle or get, you know, one of the little Bluetooth adapters. Get like a Q5K or get a ESS, you know, this little guy here, the ESS 100. You know, get something that is better than just, you know, a headphone jack, because you will notice the difference. But as far as like KZ, how they designed them and stuff, I don't know, they tell me that they design them around using a phone, but I've never had a device like my phone that has sounded better than, you know, a dongle or a Bluetooth adapter. So anyway, with that being said, I didn't really finish up talking about the sound. I just wanted to say, as far as, because I know some people are going to ask, you know, how are they wide? Are they wide enough? You know, yes, they're fine. They're plenty wide. Don't worry about it. Are they the widest that I've heard? No. Are they still pretty wide? Yes. The imaging is very good on these. For the price, for the $80, yeah, they're killer. And then another question for people who are going to ask, okay, so these are $80 and Hexa is $80. Which one should I buy? Okay, my follow-up question would be, are you treble sensitive? And if they say yes, then I'm going to say which kind, lower or upper. If they say upper, then I'm going to say get Hexa. If they say lower, then I'm going to say get the PR1 Pro. Honestly, the PR1 Pro craps all over Hexa all day long, like all day, every day. The Truth Ear Hexa does not compare to this set at all. Like, it's not a competition. The only thing I would say that the Hexa has over the PR1 Pro is the tuning. The tuning is better on the Hexa, but it's got a whole host of other issues that this set just runs right over. I mean, it's like seeing like the little kid getting beat up at school, and you have like the biggest bully in the schoolyard, and he's just beating the ever living shit out of this kid, and the kid's just like taking a whooping, and he's crying, and he's like got a bloody nose, and he's like snotting everywhere, and you're just like, oh my god, like you feel so bad for him. You're like, I want to help you, but it's just like can't do anything about it. That's Hexa. Like, Hexa's the little kid getting his freaking face rubbed into a dog turd, you know, in the freaking school playground. Sorry, I know that's a weird analogy, but anyway, I've been in a really quirky mood all day. But yeah, so other than that, what else can I talk about? Just want to make sure I cover everything for you guys. Yeah, so as far as KZ's reputation goes, I know some people have a problem with him. I know, you know, there's issues in the past. A couple of reviewers obviously really did not like him just because they kind of gave him a bad name, and I totally understand that. I would be angry too. But honestly, in my opinion, KZ has been making some serious strides in making a better product for people. They have been much more receptive to feedback. They have been much better about listening to people's thoughts and opinions and taking the criticism and making a better product. And this is a perfect example of that. Do they release a lot of products? Yeah. I don't know what's going on with them right now, if they're just trying to pump them out so they can, you know, find one that hits and sell a bunch of them. Things aren't too good over there right now. You know, so I do understand there's some things going on, but I mean, they're like cranking out releases. But I will tell you, out of this set of stuff that they've sent me, so like the CXS and the HM20 and the PR1 Pro, like they're all winners. Like they're all good. You know, there's certain levels of good. You know, and there's certain nitpicks like Paul Wasabi's video. I think he did a great job of stating, you know, his thoughts. You know, the over and the under. Just talking about the tuning. You know, I think KZ is still trying to find that sweet spot. I think they're learning. If they continue on this road and they stop doing the fun V-shape, like, you know, fun tuning, and they kind of refine it a little bit, I think that they will go places for sure. If they start doing like DF neutral, you know, and like start doing like moondrop tunings, you know, and stuff like that, I think that people better watch out, because it's going to be a shitstorm. But yeah, much praise to KZ for this set. PR1 Pro, like I said, it's $80. If you guys want to check it out, I'll have a link in the description. I don't make any money off of it. I'm just sharing the link because I was told to share a link when I review them, and that is what I'm doing. Like I said, you can get them off AliExpress. I believe they're a little bit cheaper off of there. But yeah, they are a killer set. And like I said, if you don't own a planar, you've never heard planar set before, or you're just a fan of KZ, and you haven't, you know, messed up and bought any of the other ones, then definitely jump on these. If you have already bought these, you know, yes, it is an upgrade. Is it that much of an upgrade? I don't know. I don't have them side by side anymore. I could tell you from what I did here, though, yes. Like, from what I remember, yes, very much so. But if you already own a set of planars like that, you know, or like you already own the timeless, just all I can say is watch out for like comparison videos. You know, check out the comparisons in the forums, see what other people are saying, because I know people are going to be comparing them to Dioko and to timeless and to S12, like, because they are up there for sure. Are they as good? I don't know, but they are definitely in that ballpark. But for $80. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. It was good chatting at you. I will be back shortly with another video, and I will catch you all next time. Have a great weekend.